What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as you tune in and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to talk about Jonthan Kuminga, right? And people are saying, like Jonthan Kuminga, he looked like trash this year, and he hasn't elevated his game. And I think a big part of that, not really to make excuses for him, but I think a big part of that is because Jonthan Kuminga is not really happy with what his role is on the Golden State Warriors. They're trying to ask him to do things that like that's not his game. Jonthan Kuminga is more of a slasher and a scorer. He's not a shooter. And he's not really a half court player. And what the Golden State Warriors do is they run mainly a half court game. They don't do too much up tempo anything, right? And at times when they do, you can see that Jonthan Kuminga, that's his wheelhouse. That's where he stands out. Now, I will say, that Jonthan Kuminga has to realize that he did sign this new contract or make this new deal with Golden State. And he just gonna have to make the best of this situation. He didn't really want to be there because of how they treated him like last year and years past. But he's also have to realize that he is auditioning for other teams. When it's time for him to leave, he has to be able to show that he can, his game is developing. He can do some other things. But again, I think that Steve Kerr has not adjusted to the talent that he have. Um, and that's because he has so much loyalty to Draymond and Steph, that he's going to ride that wagon until the wheels fall off, which I'm not sure if I blame him. He's not really too much concerned about the future. It seems like I said, he's running the team the only way he probably feels comfortable and the only way he knows how to. Right. So I was listening to what's the guy named Scat Batat. And he was saying that in his opinion, he thinks that Jonthan Kuminga is trash. So I'm gonna play the audio from his podcast, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna give my opinion. I disagree with a lot of what he said, but I'm gonna give some pushback on what Scat says about Jonthan Kuminga.
Well, the Golden State Warriors were in action last night. They got an actual pretty shocking win, beating the Cleveland Cavaliers 99-94 in Cleveland. That despite being without the services of Steph Curry, Draymond Green, or Jimmy Butler. They get the win despite, again, being 9.5-point dogs on the road in spite of the floating dumpster fire that is Jonthan Kuminga, who has been just literal hot garbage pretty much all season. This on the heels of a very contentious summer between he and organization, where he held the entire franchise in effect hostage for the whole summer as they were unable to make any acquisitions or transactions because they were awaiting some kind of contract resolution with Kuminga, a resolution which ultimately became a 2-year, $48.5 million deal. So Kuminga, now entering his 5th season in the league at the age of 23, set to make $24 million this year for his big ascendant season. Except for only one problem, he is regressing significantly.
Yeah, see, I think like the reason why, like I said, the reason why they signed that short contract, Kuminga really is not happy there. And I think the situation is if he had been able to go somewhere where he would have been where he thought he would have fit in or been happy at, then he would have, they would have been able to trade him or make a deal for him. But Golden State don't want to send him anywhere where they're not going to get anything out of it. So both sides was kind of really stuck. Like Kuminga was stuck because the teams that he wanted to go to, they didn't really at that time, he wasn't able to go there. Maybe they had somebody else, ahead of him on the list, and Golden State couldn't find, couldn't get another deal for him. So they both had to re-sign. That's why it's only a 2-year contract.
He managed just 4 points on 1 of 10 shooting. And now in the last 3 games, check these lines out. 3 games, of course, which Steph Curry has not been in the lineup. He's been inactive. So a perfect time for Kuminga to showcase himself. And in those 3 games, Kuminga has now posted 9 points on 4 of 12 shooting, 8 points on 3 of 10 shooting, and the aforementioned 4 points on 1 of 10 shooting last night. Again, this is all about Jonthan Kuminga, who has been pouting around the organization for years, unsatisfied with his role, demanding trades secretly, refusing to sign extensions. Word had it that Kuminga really wanted to be shipped out to Sacramento this summer, where again, he can showcase himself more, be more satisfied with the role that he has with the team. But again, the short-handed, injury-depleted Golden State Warriors really could use him right now. He could showcase his game right now. And yet again, he is shooting just 8 of 32 from the field in the last 3 games now.
See, and see, that's what I think. Like, even if you're not happy with Golden State, you are still auditioning for other teams. So you got to make the best of that situation. I think it gives you more leverage when you go to, when you go to negotiate with other teams, and they see that, they understand that you're not happy. They understand that you're playing a role, in a role that don't fit you or fit your game. You still have to, as a young player, you still got to know that you want to make the best of that situation because you're auditioning for your next job. You know, then on top of that, you have to get better at certain things because no matter what team he go to, like he might have to do something, develop more of a half court game. Especially if you want to be in playoff contention. Like in the playoffs, it's not a bunch of running gun. You fill the lanes and you get easy buckets. You gotta have a half court. You know how to score in the half court against single and double teams. And so he won his game to progress. But at the same time, you have to realize too that Kuminga is only 23 years old. So let me get back to some more scat attack.
And now Kuminga in this 5th season, again, you would anticipate this would be kind of a breakout year for Kuminga. He is regressing undeniably. Right now on the season, he's averaging just 12 points per game, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and is shooting a career worst 43.8% from the field. So yeah, Kuminga has, again, been unsatisfied with his role in Golden State, hasn't wanted to be there seemingly for years. He has been the center of various trade speculations throughout the past couple seasons. And at this point, I'm not certain who would really be willing to trade for him or what they would be willing to give up. Right now, so far on the young NBA season, which isn't that young. At this point, we are over the quarter point now of the NBA year, and Kuminga is sitting at 162nd league-wide in player efficiency rating, 183rd in box plus minus, and 485th in value over replacement. So,
yeah, I mean, if I'm Kuminga's agent, right, I'm telling him that he got to step it up. First of all, on the defensive end, because that's one thing you can definitely always control is your defense, right? I'm telling him to control, to step it up on the defensive end, and really make the best of the situation over there in Golden State. If he's not happy, man, he got, like I said, he's auditioning for other teams. He got to make the best of that situation.
perhaps Kuminga should have spent less time pouting about his contract this summer and sitting out, and more time actually practicing, working on his game, and taking the next step on the court. I mean, Kuminga is in virtually the same aged season as Jalen Johnson, and we see what that guy's doing in Atlanta right now. It looks like the Kuminga breakout is never really going to materialize.
And again, you all right. So when Scap compares this guy to the guy in Atlanta don't run the same type of. Now, this guy's the same kind of player that Kuminga is, right? He's a slasher and a scorer, right? And you see a lot of his buckets that he getting like from filling the lane, getting alley oops and stuff like that. That's not Golden State. So if Kuminga was to trade places with this kid and go to Atlanta, he'll be doing the same thing. But Kuminga is gonna need to get improve his game. Learn how to score in the half court. Everybody don't have that run and gun style. Atlanta really don't, in my opinion, don't really have a their half court game is not as good as Golden State, or what Golden State plays, right? So it is same kind of player. It's just that one player is in a better situation than the other.
Realize here. And for the Golden State Warriors now, they sit at just 12-12 on the season. That is good for 8th place in the NBA's Western Conference. Just one game, though, in the loss column above of the Memphis Grizzlies. And you still have the Portland Trailblazers floating around there with 14 losses, so just 2 games in the L column behind. So this is just going to be seemingly a dogfight all year between 3 or 4 teams to see the pecking rotation of what the play-in is ultimately going to shape up to look like. But it seems as if the Golden State Warriors are headed towards that play-in kind of a scenario, which means at best case, they're going to fall into the 7th or 8th seed for the NBA postseason. But
now, and Jonthan Kuminga also has to realize that the Golden State Warriors are really going to need him down the stretch, right? So this will be a chance for him to show what he can do and to make himself look more like somebody who is more somebody who has improved this game and look like he can be counted on. Steph Curry is not going to be able to do it, by himself at this age. Who knows if he can even stay healthy. So this is although Kuminga may not realize it, but this is probably a really good opportunity for him to just get in there and show what he can do and improve his game. So that's all I have on this Jonthan Kuminga situation. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.